It's time to get a little less serious about wrestling. This is the Alternate Commentary Table with lifelong friends.
Notice your difference in size.
And lifelong wrestling fans.
Each is a very capable performer, and each is a little too clever to give the other boy much of an advantage.
Mitch Honsius.
Credits himself with a lot of power.
And Dimitri Karolis.
So that he got all that power from drinking raw olive oil all through his youth.
Oh, jeez. Come on. Stop.
Come on.
Stop
I'm getting better each week. Each week I'm getting better.
I don't know about that. I think we should put it up to a fan vote because apparently we have fans.
You know what? Not bad.
Right here, right now on the Alternate Commentary Table, brought to you by McGuire on Wrestling. McGuire on Wrestling. You can find on Spotify, on Podbean, on iHeart, pretty much anywhere where you are streaming podcasts, you can find him. You can find us. We really appreciate it. Thank you very much for all the support and the downloads week to week and all the feedback. And, of course, thanks to the Podfather, Mr. Mike McGuire. We love you. Thanks for everything that you do here. Alternate Commentary Table, Episode 3. I do want to bring one thing up. Actually, a few things up. Always free.
Yeah.
And always about wrestling.
Yeah. Obviously.
Kind of, sort of. We might segue.
There's a couple segues.
Forgive us.
Yeah.
What I want to get to. So, as you know, on the McGuire show, the main show, he's basically the Raw of the podcast.
That's correct.
Right? We're kind of we're just the SmackDown, NXT. But we're getting there.
Main event.
We're getting better.
Yeah, it's getting better.
No. So what's happened for all of you that listen? You've grown accustomed that he has the Meltzer on every week. Well, the Meltzer's now going to the UK for the AEW show. And so if you've listened to past shows of Mike, you know that from time to time he'll do a segment where you can ask Meltzer anything. So if you do got a question, which we will, Mike, don't you worry.
Yeah.
We're crafting our question.
Yes, we are.
And we're crafting it very nicely to make sure it's an effective question.
Chat GBT.
Exactly. So if you want to ask a question for the segment, Ask Meltzer Anything, you can email McGuireShow@yahoo.com, or you can find McGuire on the socials at McGuire Show on all social medias there. So let's get into it. What a week. What a couple weeks. I'm not going to lie to you, Mitch.
Yeah.
I look forward to Saturdays even more so now.
I know. It's fun. It's so fun. So for those that don't know, and I guess why would you? Because you know Dimitri, you know Mitch now, you know obviously who the Podfather Mike is, but what you don't know, and you're about to learn, we're from Calgary, Alberta, Canada, the mecca of wrestling. And last night, SmackDown live in Calgary, Alberta, Canada. I won't lie, I watched it from the comforts of my own home, but I watched it all and I loved it. Hey, Calgary, thank you for making it an awesome event. I had a couple things. It was my birthday the other day, so, I had some family things, so I couldn't make it. And you couldn't go because you were at my thing. So anyways.
Happy birthday.
Hey, thanks a lot. But here's the thing. SmackDown last night was awesome. Why was it so good? Because of the remnants that was left over from SummerSlam. And it trickled over to the SmackDown.
It was trickled down WrestleNomics,
yes,
if you will.
Exactly. Let's start with the number one thing. We got to bring it up. First off, my predictions for SummerSlam. Hey, look.
You were on fire.
I don't want to say.
You were on fire.
I don't want to say anything.
You know what's going to happen
What's going to happen?
If they started, doing like the fan duel and gambling, you're addicted. You're going to get addicted.
There's a couple of states that are talking about putting wrestling on their docket.
That's what I'm saying.
This is it. I could be your guys' person to make you some money.
You could be like McConaughey and 2 for the money.
That's right.
Or what about 3 for the count? Starring Mitch Honsius.
I don't want your money. I want your bookie's money. So I digress. First thing I want to bring up is we got to talk about where I thought it was dead. I'm going to be honest with you. The whole Roman Reigns and the tribal chief thing and everything going on. Boy, was I wrong. They pulled it out of the fire. I thought it was dead after SummerSlam. Okay. Jimmy, spoiler alert, Jimmy comes down, helps out Roman, not his brother, and then he had the worst excuse of all time into why he did it. Thoughts on SmackDown yesterday?
Okay. The only miss, in my opinion, is I wish they did it like Rikishi did it back in the day. Where he's like, "I did it for The Rock."
Oh, good point.
Like that would have been just for us,
right?
I did it for the Uce. right?
That's kind of the same excuse.
But it's kind of the same. Here's the thing. It was a little bit cheesy, but you kind of get it. You knew that was the angle they were going to go with as soon as he said, hey, I didn't do it for you. Here's what I like about this whole bloodline thing.
Yeah.
To me, it's like a combination lock.
Right.
You know, like, okay, I get that there's only 4 numbers on this thing.
Right.
How inventive can you get with 4 numbers?
Good point.
But when you start doing the mathematics, there's a million combinations. Now you got Jay, he comes down, he kicks this guy, he kicks that guy, he calls it quits, he walks up. It's out of control. I don't know what's going to happen. This thing's out of control, Mitch.
I don't know. And then at the end, Jay walks off, super kicks everyone. Everybody's dead. Everybody's dead. And he's like, see you later, WWE. Grabs his stuff, jumps over the railing, and heads for the concourse.
Hey, quit. Done. Excuse me, first and foremost, okay, as much as I agree with your plight, Mr. Uso, you do the honorable thing.
Yes.
You put in your notice.
Yeah.
You send a letter of intent. And you put in your appropriate notice.
Yeah.
You know
2 weeks.
You know what I was thinking when he was walking up? There goes his pension and stock benefits. Right out the door.
Right out the door.
Right out the door. You have to think of these things when you're quitting.
And you killed your brother.
And you just hit your brother. Yeah.
How can you explain that to mom?
Yeah, Thanksgiving is good.
You quit your job
fun.
and killed your brother?
That makes him an honorary Ucehole. That's what that makes him.
Be careful, man. Mike has got you on a leash. You especially.
I thought it was. I thought
I was going to be getting the leash. You're getting the leash.
If he tells me, I will gladly edit it out. But it's close, but not close.
I want to do a quick crossover to Monday Night Raw real quickly. Okay. So one of the predictions I made on for SummerSlam was the Ronda Rousey versus Shayna, and the one thing that I found hilarious is they bring her in on. She wins. Shayna ends up winning that match against Ronda Rousey in an MMA type fight. Okay. She comes into Raw on Monday with a black eye and a broken arm. And she's like, look what I did. I got rid of her. And I'm like, they really got to figure out how to make that a little more believable that you won that match.
Yeah, I don't think you won, Shayna.
I don't think you did.
That's not winning. That's like Charlie Sheen winning.
Yeah.
It's not really winning.
I just thought that was like the funniest thing. They're like, oh no, it's Shayna here. She got black eye and a broken arm. I mean, why is she in a wheelchair on the way down the aisle? I got rid of her. Well, are you sure she didn't just leave like Jay?
Do you know where you are right now?
How many fingers do I have up? That was good. Speaking of that, also on Monday night, the Ricochet Logan Paul match. I said it was going to steal the show. I think Mike was right. It was the Brock and the Daydream that actually stole SummerSlam show.
I agree with that, man.
Man, ladies and gentlemen, look, I'm not a Logan Paul lover, but I'm a Logan Paul lover.
Yeah, me too, man. This guy's on fire everywhere. You can't help but just love him.
Yeah.
I like what's going on in the WWE right now. I will not go as far to say Attitude Era. It's not even a comparison.
No.
But what I'm saying is that there's more and more people that you got some attitude in there. Logan Paul represents that.
Right.
My guy, the LA Knight, represents that. You got guys like The Miz, which I'm sure we'll get into that little segment there. There's a lot of that kind of, there's a little edge to these superstars, and I like it.
Yeah.
I love it.
Well, exactly. Crossover back. And actually, he did both shows. He did the Raw and he did the SmackDown. It's
Why
your boy.
Why do you think, Mitch?
It's your boy.
That's right. LA Knight.
Yeah. So Monday, what I liked about the heat and the promo that they cut him and the Miz on Monday was it felt a little real. It felt like, you know what? The Miz is saying to his face what we're all saying behind his back, because God knows I would never say it to LA Knight.
No,
I won't say it to him. I'm not going to do it.
No.
So thank you, Miz, for saying what we've all been thinking. And you know what? This is why the Miz is who he is, a legend. He is going to be a Hall of Famer, if not already. He's already on that course, and why he's one of the mega superstars. But LA Knight on that night, he looked like he was a little surprised maybe that the Miz would say some things, and then it seemed like he was using his wit, his great mic skills, and he tore him apart. And then he did what he needed to do.
I noticed, I agree. You know what? I noticed a few things, Mitch.
Yeah.
Number one, we talked about it last week. Remember you asked me, you're like, overrated, underrated, The Miz?
Yeah.
And we talked about him and Chad Gable. You need these guys.
Yeah.
There's no secret that they put The Miz with LA Knight because it's like, hey, this guy's getting really over, and we really need someone strategic and good to work with. You're right. Of course, The Miz is going to be a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
You can't just put him with anyone. I like the fact that it felt real. I like the fact that they brought up, you're just an attitude era, wannabe act. However he said it, I can't remember now. But addressed what every fan on social media is addressing. So I thought that was brilliant. And then if you notice in the promo, LA Knight, he kind of messed up a little bit.
Yeah.
And remember when he looked and he's like, you gained a couple. So to your point with the wit, like he's just doing things where he's too cool for school right now.
Yeah.
Of course they got him on both shows. He's entertaining. But my favorite, it's these little things. When he went down and he shook his hand.
Yeah.
Right, that was good. He was down, he just shook his hand and he's like, I introduced myself. I thought it was fantastic.
But again, I'm going back to it. His finisher is like the stunner, but not the stunner.
Right.
His elbow move off the ropes is not like the people's elbow, but it's the people's elbow.
Right.
He wears a vest. I'm just saying.
It's okay.
I'm just saying.
It's okay.
Listen, The Miz might be a lot of things, but he's not a liar.
He's original.
He is original.
You're right.
Now, you said something a couple of seconds ago about like how The Miz has gained this, reputation of being a legend and stuff. The one guy that I think has all the traits, he's got the look, he's got the style, he had the belt. Austin Theory. You're not even wrestling in SummerSlam. We were right, where I didn't have him in the notes where I wasn't sure.
Yeah, they cut a couple matches.
Yeah, they cut a couple matches. I heard that too, but yesterday, here in Calgary, the Mecca of wrestling, we already talked about it, loses to Rey Mysterio. Rey Mysterio comes off the bench and says, I'll take you, and takes him and wins the belt. Good on Rey. I like the Rey winning the belt. But why? The Austin Theory's got it all. What's going on? So
here's what I'm thinking. It kind of bothered me a little bit because I love the Theory. Again, he's more of a heel, but these are the guys. Yeah. This is the new batch. This is what you got to get. I know what you're saying. Yeah. It bothered me a bit too, but follow me on this.
Okay.
You take the belt away from the Theory.
Right.
Okay.
I'm listening.
He goes obviously on to do something else. That's how you get him into the next promo.
Granted.
I think they're going to break up that ridiculous loser world order they got going on.
You mean the LWO?
The LWO.
You know what? Why can't we start our own? We had this idea first.
Yeah,
LWO.
And at least we would do stuff with it. Like, they just wear LWO. For the longest time, the two other guys came out to help. I'm like, there's more?
Oh.
Yeah,
those guys that came yesterday that were walking him to the ring.
Yeah, it's basically.
I'm like, who are you?
Yeah, it's basically the Escobar. And excuse me.
Yeah.
Excuse me. You might as well be Pablo Escobar.
You're a myth.
You're a myth. You're a nothing. You're a has-been. No. Actually, I like what that guy's doing. I think they're going to break them up. And I think there's going to be like a Mysterio Escobar. Because remember, Mysterio got hurt.
Right.
And he came in and he got hurt and he came in. There's going to be a little jealousy thing going on.
100%.
Because I think they outlined that this guy's the star of the outside of Mysterio.
Right.
But out of that young group, he's a solo act.
Yeah. Absolutely.
And I think what they should do is he should kick everyone in the LWO through the glass. Marty Jannetty styles, like we talked about.
And by the way, GWO, Greek World Order, it's coming at you hot. Get ready for the merch. It's coming. Okay, final thing that I noticed on SmackDown that we talked about it a little bit last week, and now it's 100% concrete that I was right. The mic skills are more important than maybe even wrestling skills. Edge, Sheamus, horrible thing.
You didn't like that?
I did not like it.
Wow.
Okay, here's the thing. Do I appreciate Edge coming to Calgary because next week is his 25-year anniversary and it's in his hometown of Toronto? Absolutely. He had every reason to say, I'm not going to show up in Calgary. Shows up. Thank you very much. He's a legend. Love the Edge. The Rated R Superstar, maybe the best name in all of wrestling.
That's a good
It's a good name, man. It's a great name.
The Rated R Superstar.
I love it. Then Sheamus comes out. Number one. Sheamus, why are you always rolling with the brutes? Like, I know you're a faction, but you're just going down to talk to your buddy. They were trying to make it awkward and they made it more awkward.
Yeah, but hold on. I got to give Sheamus some credit. Why did the Brutes got to roll with him everywhere he's got to go?
Well, yeah, but they're following their leader.
Yeah, I know, but Kenny just, hey, relax, okay? Let the guy eat for a second.
Well, he could easily say, guys, yeah, stick back. He could say
just give him 5 minutes. But guys, can I go? Can we come with you? Come on, please. Please?
Well,
okay.
it's the only way those guys are going to get it.
Stand in the corner.
Yeah,
Keep your mouth shut and stand in the corner. They're like his little brothers. Not even
That's
brothers.
exactly it.
There's two little cousins.
Cousins.
And that Butch, they got to do something there. You know what he reminds me of?
Yeah.
I'm going to age myself here, ourselves. But remember in Looney Tunes, there was the weasel that just kept eating Foghorn Leghorn's legs? That's what he reminds me of.
It's the hair. It's the hair. It's the hair.
I don't know what he does.
Yeah. I don't know either. But
And his signet, or whatever you call that thing, it's a little low cut.
It's a little low cut.
Like there's a V-neck, and then there's the UK neck, apparently. Like
it's true. You got a point. You know what? When you're wearing your mom's bathing suit to the ring, yeah, you got.
Ma, my luggage didn't come. Ma, I need a bathing suit.
Hey,
Ma.
you know what? This is not bad, Ma. I'm going to borrow this. But buddy, can I just please listen to me, everybody. The mic skills are now becoming the most important skill you can have in wrestling. Hulk Hogan has proven it for years.
Yeah.
Leg drop, body slam, use the mic, done.
Back scratch.
Back scratch.
What about the back scratch?
The back or the eye gouge. Absolutely.
Listen, the Hogan back scratch. That had people bent over. It was an effective move.
You know what? And I heard, this is just a rumor, allegedly, wouldn't cut his nails before the fight. This is what I heard. That's an insider. How do you feel about that, Meltzer? I bet you didn't know that.
People do it. I was watching Ricochet doing a double backflip moonsault clips the other day because they were talking why he doesn't do it anymore. And you see these high flyers. You're right. They're overdoing it. The back scratch.
The back scratch.
It's amazing.
Do it.
It's amazing.
It'll put your significant other to bed and make them cry in the ring.
Hogan should come up with his hand and a handle and actually have his own back scratching merchandise. It would have worked.
Oh my
God!
God!
Now. It's too late.
Is
now.
it? I don't think so.
Well, no one.
I don't think so.
Unless we bring it up, no one knows about it.
So speaking of those two guys, I mean, I don't know. We went from Sheamus and Edge. Honestly, what did you think of those two guys?
I thought, listen, I like the idea of teasing the match like that. Like it almost kind of has like a retirement match feel to it, which is pretty cool.
Okay.
I get it. But it was cheesy, Mitch.
Mm-hmm.
It was forced. The jokes were... It's almost like they literally came up with that 8 minutes before they walked out.
This is the thing. If you guys are not known, like they're excellent wrestlers, some of my favorites to watch, but you've never been good on the mic. You just like to say actually Edge hasn't been. That's not true. Edge was good. He was always have his little thing, but he also had Christian with him back in the day too.
Yeah.
So a little bit different. He's good on the mic.
Yeah.
Long and short of it is you guys should have practiced a little bit. A little practice.
Yeah.
That's all. Now, you brought up a great point yesterday, and we got to bring it back. The art of the jobber.
The art of the jobber.
Where did the jobbers go?
So this is a problem that I've been having, right?
Yeah.
Now, I understand there's ratings wars now and entertainment, and you got to keep people. I get it. The issue with wrestling is, see, back in the day, you would have jobbers on the Raws and the Sunday Night Heat and all these different shows that they had, okay? Because when it came time for the pay-per-view or the main event of Raw or SmackDown, it meant something. You're like, oh, this is a big match because they're putting them together.
Right.
Now they're together every week. Now they're together on the pay-per-views. They're together the week after, 4 days this week, this, that. They're doing all these things. And sometimes it loses a bit of its luster. Like, for example, I was watching Karrion Kross. This is where I thought of it. I'm like, I'm watching AJ Styles and Karrion Kross.
Yeah.
Okay? And that to me is, I get it, like it's a good match to have, but it's also, if they don't have much to build that up to a pay-per-view match.
Oh, no.
Because it's completely diluted.
That's right.
And I said, where's the jobber? Like, why can't we have the guy where it's like, Jeff Caldwell.
Yeah, exactly.
Versus Brock Lesnar, and just comes in.
This is my chance. I got him, Dad.
Yeah, destroys him.
Yeah.
In less than a second. I wish we had a little bit more of that because I like the jobber.
I'm going to say one thing. You brought him up. Karrion Kross, he's so close. Like, get him there. I think he's got it, but there's something off with him. And then AJ Styles, man.
Because he's Jared Leto on steroids.
He really is.
I am out to prove it. I am out to prove it.
Have you ever heard his imitation of Jesse Ventura?
Oh, my goodness.
It's so good.
Who's the other guy who does it's him, and then he was in wrestling too, the Mad TV guy.
Yeah, that's right.
Will
Sasso.
Yeah,
that's right. Yeah. Unreal, both of them. Yeah. The one thing I'll say about AJ Styles, Matt, what a legend this guy is. Just, I don't like making fun of people's appearances and stuff. Still in great shape. His hair is redonkulous. Like, I watch him wrestle and I'm like, I can't take you serious because I'm watching your hair and I can't get it's like a car wreck. I can't stop looking at it.
I don't mind the hair.
You like the hair.
I don't mind it. It gives him it gives him some grit.
Maybe it's the flip or something. I don't know.
You know what bothers me when the tires, like when people wear face paint, but the face paint comes off.
Right.
It's like, why are you doing that?
Yeah.
Why are we doing that? Yep. Or if they're putting their hair up or doing something and then it comes out anyways. It's like, well, just cut your hair then.
Yeah, the art of the jobber, I think the thing is that there's guys that don't want to believe they're jobbers, but you're a jobber.
Right.
Like, no one maybe wants that title. I would love that title.
Okay. I think we can all say it. The best jobber of all time is who?
Oh, the Brooklyn Brawler.
The Brooklyn Brawler.
Yeah, you can't.
Why can't you just bring a couple of those characters back?
That would be nice. I think so. I agree. And you can play off it. I mean, the fans know enough that they would absolutely enjoy it.
Yes, like every town you go to. So they're going to go to Winnipeg next.
Yeah.
Have a Winnipeg Brawler. Have a Calgary Brawler.
Oh, like there you go.
Have a brawler in every single town.
That's
they
right.
They kind of look the same.
Yeah.
Smell the same. Moves are the same.
I like what you're
going. But they're not the same.
They're not the same. But you know who does the jobbers not bad? They do it at AEW, I noticed. They do that.
Well, they have to because they don't have a mega talent roster.
I would somewhat disagree with you. They got a lot of names, but I think what they do is what you're saying is like, why do we need them to constantly... Because that's part of the problem right now in wrestling, to your point. Like, each week and leading up to a pay-per-view, these guys are fighting the same person over and over again, right?
Yeah.
So I do think that, like, AEW is doing... something. And sometimes, we said it before on our sports show, the reality is you don't want all-stars all the time. The jobbers are there. They're the grinders. They're the guys that are going to go into the boards and get the puck. That's the same thing. To ask, like, Sheamus and now Edge to who's the jobber. No, they're not two jobbers. But now imagine these two are going to, like, have some sort of rivalry going into Survivor Series. Oh, my God. Are you kidding me? For the next 3 months, I got to listen to that promo? Are you crazy? I can't do that.
You can't.
I can't do that.
Speaking of Survivor Series, can we just go back? I was watching clips of my favorite Survivor Series of all time.
Yeah.
Where, if you recall, it was the survivors of each match made it to the end, and it was like Hulk Hogan. Who was it now? I'm gonna butcher it, but it was like Hulk Hogan, Texas Tornado.
Oh yeah, I remember that.
And was it Warrior Tito
Is that the
Santana?
one where Undertaker came in for the very first time? That one you're talking about? Because that's where he made his debut.
No, I believe it was.
Okay.
Yeah. Would that have been 92?
Oh, it's in there somewhere, buddy. Yeah.
Yeah, it's up there. We got to go back to that one. But I believe it was the same one. Yeah, because there was the goobly gobber, the big egg thing, remember?
Yeah, right.
Yeah, that was like the most ridiculous thing in the world.
See wrestling, how far we've come? You see?
The Undertaker, that was Ted DiBiase, you devious devil.
Yes.
Money can apparently buy happiness and belts.
So going back to it, so AEW's got it going on. They kind of get it. I think they're doing great there. In a couple of weeks, they've got the huge pay-per-view going on. Biggest ever, over 70,000. No one thought they were going to sell anything, and now they're at 70. They've surpassed it. And I think it's going to be a great pay-per-view. You got the AJ style. You've got the MJF, and you got the Adam Cole going at it. But before we get to that, can we please talk about Wednesday night? The opening banter. It's the Chris Jericho Appreciation Club or members or
Jericho
whatever.
Jericho Appreciation Society.
Society, pardon me. They all have a meeting. Here, I told you right before it started, I'm like, this is going to be awesome. What a dud. What was that? Again, going back to it. Mic skills, people. We got to practice the mic skills.
You know who's got the best job of all time?
Who's that?
Jake Hager.
He does have the best job.
He's basically a backup goaltender.
Yes, he is.
He gets no ice time. You barely I'm just like, when was the last time this guy's wrestled?
Yeah, good point.
He's been in a couple schmazes.
Right.
Couple kerfuffles.
Yeah.
But he's never really, like, I'm just thinking back, I go, this guy's a backup goaltender.
That's exactly
He's getting paid for 82 games, but he's only playing 6.
It's so true.
That's out of control.
It's so true.
And you know what I love? He's like, I hated the hat.
That was the best part. That was the best part.
That was the best part.
Then he's running through, like, each person gets there a couple of seconds, and they're all just bad.
Yeah.
They were all, like, they were, some people, it's hard to win 5 hands in a row in blackjack. They actually did it. They were like 10 in a row. Horrible.
What's worse, the Edmonton Elks or the Jericho Appreciation Society for losing record?
It's close. I think they're going to surpass them.
It's close.
It's close.
It's close.
Yeah.
I'm glad that they broke that thing up because it made no sense.
Right.
Like, it made no sense.
0 sense.
I didn't like it.
Well, they weren't, to their point, the one thing they made a point is, like, you guys weren't doing anything. They're like, you weren't doing anything, basically, is what I got of the whole thing.
No one was.
They're like, Jericho, you're not doing anything. And then if I was Jericho, and he just sat there and took it all. That was the other part that I thought was fascinating. I'm like, here's the guy that is the master, maybe the master, and they won't let him talk.
His feelings were hurt, Mitch.
He was hurt.
I don't think he expected that.
No. Well, he should have came out with that big spiky jacket that he has, and then they would have, like, give him his room.
Maybe a little respect. Maybe a little respect.
Okay. Adam Cole, MJF. It's going to highlight that pay-per-view.
What did I tell you?
Yeah.
You know it's going to happen.
Tell everyone again.
You know it's going to happen.
It's actually going to happen now, 100%.
So, I thought they were going to beat FTR for the belts.
Yes.
They didn't.
They didn't.
I get it. Now you got the rubber match with the Young Bucks.
Right.
Who, in my opinion, should just be Bucks at this point.
Okay.
Okay? Just be Bucks.
We'll get to them in a second.
Okay? So, but they don't. But then what happens? They go in.
Yeah.
Now, they got a match scheduled at the Wembley.
Right.
They go in.
Yeah.
And now they're vying for the Ring of Honor.
Yeah.
Tag Team Championship. It's going to happen. They're going to win them first.
Yes.
They're going to be tag champs. Then there's going to be a title change, ladies and gentlemen. Because Adam Cole is going to be the new AEW champ while they're still champions. And they're going to have to go back and forth. It's brilliant. I knew it.
And you know what? Doing that cross promotion. Hey, Ring of Honor, you just won.
You just won. Right, listen, the fact of the matter is this.
Yeah.
The fact of the matter is this. Tony Khan is clearly listening to Maguire on wrestling.
Right.
Where else?
Hey.
Where else you getting the idea?
That's all you're getting it.
There
exactly.
You go. I'm just saying.
No, dude,
Mitch, you're calling the Usos. I'm calling.
You got that one. We're fired, buddy. We're fired.
We're great.
Okay, speaking of the tag, like, I wanted to bring it up last week. I didn't get a chance. When you're talking to the FTR, like, hey, WWE, this is how you use maybe the greatest tag team that was ever assembled. Not getting them to do parody and jokes and this and that. This is a great tag team.
Yeah.
And they're up against now maybe the best tag team of all time in the Bucks, Young Bucks, whatever you want to call them. Dude, I actually think, here's another hot take. This is going to be the match of the night for sure. This is going to be so good when it happens in a couple of weeks from now. But, dude, I'm looking forward to it. I do think the Young Bucks are, as it goes, the greatest tag team of all time. I really do.
You'd be hard pressed to deny it, or at least put them in the conversation. That they're excellent.
Yes.
And because they come in and they fire on all cylinders all the time.
All the time.
And they never miss. It's crazy. But they also have good, like, they're not just high flyers. They got some really cool moves.
Yes.
But then the FTR, these guys are old school.
But that's the thing.
This is what I like about this matchup. They're old school. They remind me, like, here's the thing.
Right.
Best era of tag team still, in my opinion, is when you had Demolition, Heart Foundation, Rockers, Legion of Doom. I mean, the list goes on and on. Right? Like, that was... And then it went into the doldrums. Now the tag team situation's kind of back.
It's kind of back again.
But the Young Bucks, I think, have been carrying it for wrestling forever. Yeah.
Well, and think about it. They never went to WWE. So a lot of people, you have to be a pretty big wrestling fan to know who we're talking about, in my opinion. Like, now that AEW's out, yeah, everyone knows the Young Bucks. But these guys were huge in Japan, right? Like, for the longest time.
Totally.
And for us who, and I'll be honest, I never really perused hard in Japan. Like, I didn't go hard into it until the Kenny Omega started making a bigger name. And then I'm like, oh, Bullet Club. And I see this. Love the Bullet Club, by the way.
Love it.
All that stuff. Then I'm like, yeah, I've seen these guys over and over and over again. And for them to still be around, be significant, and be and do all those amazing moves and And let's call it what it is. They're heavy part of AEW. FTR, thank you for your time, but Young Bucks, they're going to take it.
I think they're going to take it.
I think so too.
Yeah, I think so.
I don't know. It's so crazy. Well, a couple last things. So last week, I'm listening to the Mike and the Meltzer doing their thing.
Yeah.
And they were talking about the dark side of the ring, and they were talking
Greatest
about
wrestling show ever.
Absolutely. And they're talking about the Bash in the Beach segment that just aired.
Right.
So I had to go and watch it. I hadn't seen it yet.
Yeah. And by the way, for those that are, if you haven't checked out last week's McGuire on Wrestling show where him and the Meltzer talked about this, that's a great detailed, because you get further insight from Meltzer about that episode with Mike, which is well done. So you have to check it out. So after I completely forgot about that, right? And you're watching it, and all I could think about at the end, and Mike had asked the question, who do you think's in the right? And here's my, if I may, Mike, one thing, I just want to say this. Neither one of these guys are in the right state of mind. Eric Bischoff is crazy, but calculated, and Vince Russo is just straight up crazy. Like, I'm sorry, but he is intense. Like, I'm putting these guys in sales roles. Like, if I owned a dealership, right, these guys are my two top selling guys, but for different reasons. They're both tied at 100 cars each for the month. But Eric Bischoff is basically showing you the contract. Bischoff's in finance. Yeah, 100%. And Russo is either like the service advisor, but he works the lot sometimes.
Yeah, exactly. He's like, you can't buy that car. You got to buy this car. And he's just like, you almost have to believe him. You're like, because this guy might like stab me if I don't buy this car. And then Eric Bischoff almost is like, I got to buy the car. I had no choice. Hogan had the contract. What am I going to do?
Yeah, they're both sleazy salesmen. Like, who do you believe? Okay, who do you side with one more than the other?
Honestly, if I always put this like this, Dimitri, I go, in a court of law, who would win? If it was just a conversational piece, not for money, not for anything else, I think Eric Bischoff wins.
Yeah, me too.
I don't think he's a great person. I don't think he was in the right, but contractually and based on what they were saying, he was in the right.
Listen,
Russo was trying to push it based on come on, this is the way it should go. And I get his point. He's not wrong, but he's not in the right either.
So here's the problem I have with Russo.
Right.
Russo reminds me of the line cook that thinks he could run the restaurant. Okay?
That's exactly who he is.
That's who he is. Like,
That's who he is.
Bro, listen, okay? We shouldn't be doing, like, when he came out afterwards.
Yeah.
And he just cut the promo and then redid the match and like all that stuff. When he did all that stuff, it's like, why, man?
Yeah.
Why? Just take your paycheck, go cash it in Money Mart, and call it a day.
Exactly.
Let it go.
Yeah.
Let it go. You can't you don't walk into head office and just, yo, I could run this restaurant. Like, no, that's what I'm saying. It's
That's
like
exactly
him and the
it.
dishwasher having a heart-to-heart with smoking a couple darts in the back, right? Just be like, yeah, man, you could totally run this place. Yeah, bro, I could run this place. That's what it came out to me.
That's it.
So
That's exactly
There you
it.
go. I didn't why, man? But through that came another brilliant idea.
What's that?
WWE, if you're listening.
Right.
How do you not pair? Because Vince Russo probably says bro more times in 1 minute than Joe Pesci swears.
Good point.
Okay?
Very good point.
Okay. Please, for the love of God, make him the manager for Riddle.
That is easily your greatest idea, 2023.
Yeah.
100%.
That's what I'm saying. There we go.
It's amazing.
Listen, thank you very much for listening to us. We got to close out the show. I do want to say that we plugged the McGuire show. We plugged the Meltzer about the Ask Meltzer Anything. Please also keep in mind that for Sunday's show, Mike's got a former co-host, wrestling radio producer, Dan the Mouth Livransky, will be joining for a special one-off appearance this Sunday to talk about a lot of things, a lot of fun things. You know, McGuire's show is always amazing, just jam-packed with stuff. Anyways, thank you for listening. Remember, you can stream this podcast anywhere where you are listening to podcasts. This is the Alternate Commentary Table, brought to you by McGuire on Wrestling, at McGuire Show on the socials. And again, thank you very much, and we'll chat to you next week.
Chair shot.
Oh, man. I knew it. You're trying to force these taglines. Can I say one thing before we go?
Sure, yeah.
Okay, Ludwig Kaiser.
Yeah.
Is he not basically Das Wonder Kid, Alex Wright?
He is. I thought they were cousins.
I think it's him on collagen.
I think
Alex Wright.
You know what? If that's what collagen does after 20 years,
sign me up.
Sign me up too, buddy.